So we got our Week 13 winners and losers. Mario had a hard time finding his losers. I didn't, of course. I love my losers. I don't know why I do. I'll start off as usual first. By the way, Mario, this is my first list where every winner and loser is a team. I don't think I've had that before. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm gonna start with my losers. The number one loser, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Mario, why are they my losers this week? Why? Oh, not only did they not score a point in that loss to the Patriots in Los Angeles, 45 to nothing. Yeah, 45 nothing. I'm pretty surprised too. They have been eliminated from playoff contention, and I've said it on the show before that that is the number one losing stat on this list. So props to them for being my number one loser this week. On my second loser is the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, why are they my loser? Because they were also eliminated from the playoff contention following their 17-9 loss to the Dolphins. Biggest losing stat, they're on my losing list. My number three loser is actually pretty unusual, to be honest with you. It's the Seahawks. Now, why are they my loser this week? Not only did they lose to the Giants 17-12 at home, their offense and defense just did not show up. And let me tell you something, that game was really ugly. That was a really, really ugly game for the Seahawks. They scored 5 points in the first half and only 7 points in the second half. It's rare to score 5 points in general. I mean, it's very rare, but like what's even rare is the Seahawks losing at home. I think we've talked about this off the camera that their home field advantage doesn't matter this year, given the COVID regulation, how they don't have any fans at home. But with that said, they lost to the Giants. The Giants are very underrated. They have very underrated defense. The Giants are up and coming. They're first in the NFC East because of that win. That was a pretty shocking win by the Giants. I'm pretty surprised that they won that game. You and me had the Seahawks winning that game, and we had it close. And the Seahawks just, I didn't think it was going to be that close and that low of a score. But the Seahawks just not performing on offense and defense is the reason why they are my losers this week. Um, any thoughts on that, Mario?
Yeah, so I had Justin Herbert as a loser, so we'll start with him. I also had the Bengals rushing, so I'll just talk about those two. So Justin Herbert, the reason why he's the biggest loser on my list is because, again, we got a rookie here, we got a rookie quarterback here who's been so hyped this year, and for good reasons too. I mean, don't get me wrong, Justin Herbert, he's been a great rookie quarterback for that team. But when you look at it, what he did against a top defense, a high caliber defense like New England, 26 out of 53, that's less than 50%. He had 209 yards, two interceptions, and not a single touchdown. You think after the first half, you kind of adjust something, but nothing was adjusted. And all these plays that were being called, Justin Herbert's job was to execute them. He just couldn't do it, and I think it starts off with leadership. I think he is the leader of that offense at such a young age, and he'll learn. I'm not going to put too much. I'm not going to bring him down too much, but I think that's the reason why he was probably the biggest loser on that team. And then for the Bengals rushing, in a game where 17 and 9, you said 19-7, excuse me, 19-7, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like that means like a couple plays in that game, it could have shifted the game.
Hold on, it
And
was 17-9, by the way, so you were right.
17-9. Okay, so they lost by 8 points. So with that being said, there could have been a play in the game, a couple plays in the game that could have shifted it. And I think one part of the Bengals that didn't do so good was their rushing squad. I mean, out of all the running backs, only 42 rushing yards with zero TDs. It seems like since Joe Mixon been hurt, it seems like they just couldn't. They just haven't really got any chemistry with that run game. So I mean, we can go back to the quarterbacks and how many they were using, but I mean, when you realize there's a big problem with with the quarterbacks right now, the rushing game got to step it up. And last week it didn't. They just didn't step up.
Right.
And
Right.
since we're going,
Absolutely
since
agree.
you took two of mine, I'll just say the third one. I picked Lamar Jackson, not the quarterback, but the corner for the New York Jets. The reason why
Another
is because
Lamar Jackson?
the reason why is because that was the guy who let go of I believe, 46-yard TD. Who was it? Help
I
me out here.
remember. I didn't watch that game.
It was he let go of the last play of the Jets game. Uh,
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, and I mean, in a play like that, you got to make sure stuff like that don't happen. I mean, play all the way back in the backfield. There's going to be one play left. Play all the way back. Don't try to cover man on Henry Ruggs. he's gonna burn you every time. You got to play back. And I mean, Lamar Jackson, again, another rookie. I'll go lightly on him, but like that's just a tough one to let go. You know.
Yeah, right. And and I just want to point out right there, because of that loss, the Jets fired their defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. But we'll talk about that in another video. That's another top for another video later on.
What are your winners, Nate?
I will tell you who my winners are right now. I'm going to talk about my top two winners because they're basically my winners for the same exact reason. The New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, why are they my winners, Mario? Because they clinched the playoff berth. They're the first two teams to do so. The Saints did so in a 21-16 win versus the Falcons, and the Chiefs did it not too long after in a 22-16 win versus the Broncos. So, not very flashy wins, but a win did get them a spot in the playoffs, which is expected. So, congratulations to those two teams. Those are my other two winners. Now, my last winner is the New England Patriots. And man, that was one hell of an ass beating right there. Excuse me for my language, but I just cannot say that in any better way. They beat the living snot out of the Chargers. Again, 45-0. They didn't score a single point. Everybody thought Panthers 20-0 win versus the Lions was impressive. This is even more impressive. 45 points versus 0. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's incredible. Again, their offense exploded, their defense exploded. They improved Patriots, and because of this win, this big win, they improved to 6-6, and their playoff hopes still live. Surprisingly, Cam Newton didn't. This was one of these wins where Cam Newton just didn't really. Excuse me, that was an NFL notification about the game on right now. I don't know if they heard that, but I mean, this was one of these wins where Cam Newton didn't really have an impressive day. I mean, he went 12 for 19, 69 yards, a touchdown. For rushing attempts, he had 14 of them with 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, 3 touchdowns obviously is a big plus, but everything else just isn't that impressive, But it was enough to get them to win, a big win on top of that. Their rushing game was huge. Their passing game was big. Mostly their rushing. The defense did their job, and because of that, the Patriots are my third winner this week. What do you think, Mario?
I mean, yeah, I mean, both those, all three of those teams, they did something great. I mean, New Orleans Saints and Kansas City Chiefs, obviously they clinched the playoffs. I mean, congratulations to them. New England, for right reasons, they were probably the most impressive team. For me, as for winners for me, the first one I got was Baker Mayfield, and I'll say one. Let me talk about Baker Mayfield for a second. We guys like him and guys who like a lot of quarterbacks in the league, like Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz at times. We give him a lot of like, we give him a lot of criticism, but I think credit needs to be due when they do something good. You know what I'm saying? And then Baker Mayfield, 25 out of 33, 334 yards and 4 TDs. I don't think he gets any better than that. I think that's offensive player of the week stats right there. And that's absolutely a reason why they won. It was getting close towards the end, but the reason why they were so good offensively, a big reason for it was because of Baker Mayfield. So I got to give him credit for winning that game. Browns improved to, I believe, 9-3.
Yeah.
Second one, Cleveland Farrell, the defensive lineman for the Las Vegas Raiders. In a close game like that, his defensive presence was seen throughout the whole game. He had 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass deflected. So I mean, credit to him. I mean, in that close, he really stepped deep. Some guys on defense really step it up, and they're game changers. I mean, I think if it wasn't for his efforts, I don't think the Raiders win that game, and they get embarrassed by the Jets. So I mean, congratulations to Cleveland Farrell. And last but not least, Darren Waller. Let me tell you something. If Baker Mayfield is not AFC Offensive Player of the Week, it's definitely going to Darren Waller. Let me tell you why: 13 receptions, 200 yards, and 2 TDs.
Pretty solid.
By a tight end. That is ridiculous, and he's obviously proven why he's one of the best tight ends in the league this year. He's proven why he was underrated in the beginning of the season. People are starting to pay attention to him, and in a game like that, offensively, he was a presence to the Jets. So you got Cleveland Farrell on one side, you got Darren Waller on the other, and I mean credit to both of them because both of them were key pieces to the reason why the Raiders won that game.
Absolutely, yeah, and that is our week 13 winners and losers for this week. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think.